Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hot Pudge IG Live. I am your host, Pudge Fernandez, again from Studio 2016 Toyota Camry. We're here live again. So I'm still having trouble with my cell phone. As you can see, I got to go live from inside my car. The bad news is I went to the T-Mobile place and they told me my cell phone is garbage. But the good news is I'm getting a new cell phone. So hopefully by the end of this week, I will have a brand new, an Apple. I think I'm going to Manzana. That's it. I'm leaving the Android. I'm going Manzana. I'm going with the Apple people. I'm excited. It's expensive. It better be worth it. Let's see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted. But hey, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. This is episode 33. If you missed any of the past episodes or want to catch up, go to my YouTube channel, Hot Pudge Sunday. It's all there. All 30 plus episodes of all my IG lives that started at the very beginning of this pandemic. And I also have the IG lives. I have 6 feet, 6 questions, which was really fun when I was running around all of New York, trying to catching up with all the comedians and doing that pandemic PPE questionnaire. And I got some stand-up comedy, and I just filmed a sketch video last night, so it'll be up there too. So Hot Pudge Sunday is my YouTube channel. Check it out. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get our guest on today. I'm very excited about this guest coming on because out of all the 33 episodes I've done, for the very first time, this guest is a complete stranger to me. Never met this person, never performed with this person. I know nothing other than the reason why she's coming on. She is a captain in the United States Army. Oh shit, you know how I get down with the vets. I'm a vet, she's a vet. You know how we do. We can drink, we can kill, all right, and we can hang. So I'm very excited. We all bleed green and we hang tight. So it's a wrap, all right? And she's a captain. So holy shit, I haven't saluted anybody in decades. Looking forward. There she is. There she is. Good evening, ma'am.
Oh my gosh, stop with that, but I love that I have my camera the wrong way and it was immediately pointing at the bottle of wine on my desk.
Did you hear me? I said we can drink, we can kill, and we can hang. You're already drinking. This is it. You're a vet. This is how we do. This is how we got to get through. How
I
are
have
you?
spent the last 3 hours packing my house up. We're getting ready to sell my house. I bought my grandma's house. I bought my grandma's house from my dad. He did not give me a good deal.
Ouch.
Which is a whole nother story.
No veterans discount? Where's the veterans discount? Like what?
Really none. But honestly, the craziest part about buying my grandma's house is it grows china. Like it legit grows. I have 6 sets of china. It's bananas. I spent
It's grandma's china.
3 hours. It took 3 hours to pack 3 sets of the china.
Wow.
And I had 2 other people helping me. My little neighbor girl, Riley, 13 years old. I was paying her $10 an hour. Slave labor, child labor. I'm okay with it. I asked her mom first. Her mom was cool with it. I was like,
$10 an hour. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Below minimum wage. You got to steal.
And my surrogate mom was helping me. So I had one person for free and my little neighbor girl, and 3 people. It took us almost 3 hours to pack just 3 of the 6 sets.
Now that sounds like those family heirlooms that have been passed down from generation to generation, but somehow she got them all.
Legit, like the very first set I packed, like I've done some research on a couple of the what do they call them?
The patterns?
Yes.
The style?
Oh my gosh. Way to go, Pudge. Yes, the patterns.
I know. I wasn't always in the field. I did my time in the real.
One set was from like 1930.
Ouch, wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. My grandma kept her house like a living museum. Like as a kid, when I sit down on certain pieces of furniture, I can kind of hear my grandma going, "You're not supposed to be sitting there."
Wow. But
Yeah.
but how cool is that to be buying a house? I mean, you were there since you were a little girl, and now you're taking
Well,
ownership. You're keeping it in the family.
no, I bought it 7 years ago.
Okay.
So I'm actually getting it out of the family. I'm getting ready to sell it because
Okay.
as we all know,
All
the
right.
prices in New Jersey are just they're crazy. Like, I
Is that
mean,
where you live? Jersey?
yeah, I mean, I would be stupid not to sell my house at this time.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty. Where are you moving to?
We are going to move into the city. We signed a lease where we'll be in the city full time as of October 1st. We're going to empty out the house. We'll sell it. Hopefully it sells quickly so we're not paying rent and a mortgage at the same time. I know most people would be like, aren't you doing that a little bit backwards? The reality is, if your house doesn't sell, it's because you're asking too much. So if you're willing to sell it for whatever, then
Right.
it's gonna
Yeah.
move. I mean, who
Right.
cares?
If you're gonna be a hard ass, it's gonna be there forever, and you're gonna get screwed yourself and shoot yourself in the foot.
Exactly. I just
Wow.
want to say a shout out to Major Stephen Totter. I see he joined.
Oh, we have a major.
We have a major on the call.
Wait
Hi, sir.
Oh my God, I'm enlisted. I'm surrounded. I'm like, what the? Oh my God, this is so
He's
cool.
a he's a really cool dude. He was my previous boss. I
Okay.
just transferred on Saturday. I'll be taking command of a company down in South Jersey. Um,
Sweet.
so
Well, you,
yeah.
well, we, so tell me about your military career. Like, how'd you get in? ROTC.
Yep.
Okay.
I did ROTC. I went to Fordham. I did ROTC
Or
there, and that was my gosh. I started ROTC in 2006. I did the simultaneous membership program, which meant I was drilling with a unit and going to college and doing ROTC. So all of that time counted for me before
good
I
for you.
commissioned.
Good for you.
Yeah. So it gives you an extra 2 years of time in service, but it doesn't really count towards retirement. So I graduated in, I almost don't even want to say this out loud because people start doing the math to figure out how old I am. And honestly, fuck you. uh, then
You you're 22. Go ahead.
oh, bless you.
You're 20. I'm 26.
Exactly.
There
Samesies.
you go. There you go.
I would cheers you, but you look like you're in a car. That seems inappropriate.
Yeah, yeah, that would be funny if I. Yeah, yeah. I got kicked out of my studio, having Wi-Fi trouble. So I'll be back in there, eventually. But so were you active? Did you go active duty or a reserve guard thing?
No, I've been National Guard pretty much my whole career, until
Okay.
recently. I have since transferred components from the National Guard to the Army Reserves.
Okay.
And then I've done 3 deployments. So I've spent quite a bit of time on active duty, but all in like deployed capacities. So I was deployed to Iraq the first time for 13 months in country, 15 months on orders. I spent 12 months in Kosovo, and then I did another deployment most recently in 2016 to 17, and that was to Iraq. So I've
Wow.
done
God
Iraq.
bless you. God bless you, and thank you.
No.
It's it's weird. It's awkward for me. My military service was I did 4 active and 4 guard, 8 years total. I went in the infantry, of course. One too many
11
moves.
Bravo.
11 Bravo. Yeah, it was 11 Mike first. That's a funny story. Yeah, the story with the recruiters where they don't tell you everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
I said infantry because I saw platoon, and he was like, sure. And then I get to Fort Benning, and they're like, you're 11 X-ray. I'm like, what's 11 X-ray? You're infantry, but we don't know which one. I'm like, which one what? And then they're like, you're 11 Mike. I'm like, what's 11 Mike? Oh, it's a Bradley fighting vehicle. What's a Bradley fighting vehicle? You're right in the back of it. I'm like, what? And all of a sudden, I'm attached to a Bradley, so I was like, it's not the infantry I thought, but
Hey, there's some benefits to being mounted.
yes, yeah, yeah, you ride in the back, uh, not comfortably, with gear, weapons, tows, and 10 other guys squashed in there. It wasn't. I really didn't like it because the training was geared too much to the Bradley more than us. Because it was more, it's an armored vehicle with a 25 millimeter and two tow rockets, and that's the mentality of that's where they gauge basically most of the training, not us in the back. We were like secondary, so we were always like waiting for, okay, what are we gonna do now, type shit. So 4 years, First Cavalry Division, great unit, great battalion, second of the seventh, a lot of history, very proud. Fort Hood was great. Texas was great. Had a good time. And then
Well,
came
I'm
home.
glad you say that now, because now it's a little weird right now.
Yeah, it breaks my heart, man. I got nothing but positive things to say about Fort Hood, Killeen, Austin, everything about Texas. I mean, I tell people it's like next to New York, it's my next favorite state, and I still have friends there, and I still go there. So I can't believe
Wow.
what's happening over there. It's just breaks my heart to hear all that shit. But yeah, it was a good time. Then I came home and I did 4 years in the National Guard, 11 Bravo. I finally got 11 Bravo and had a good time. But
What state were you with?
New York State.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so what unit were you with? 42nd?
First, whatchamacallit, Jamaica Armory. Charlie Company, first of the, fuck. You know what? I know it by the back. As soon as I have to remember it, I forgot it. First of the New York Division. My army was in Jamaica, Queens.
Hmm.
Charlie, first of the. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. So I spent 4 years there, and everything was cool. Here's the twist: those 8 years fell in between the wars.
Oh
I
wow.
I went in '93, and I got out the spring of '01. So
Wow.
now you can do the math about my age. Uh, so yeah, it was a little bit of a brain fart when I got out in the spring of '01. Then a few months later, the shit hit the fan,
Yeah.
and it was actually on September 11th, that afternoon after, when everyone was doing the "Where's your family?" and everyone was, finding where everyone was at. Once I knew where my family was at, I actually went to my unit and they didn't let me in
Mm.
because they were like, it was crazy. The gate was closed, which I've never seen. There's someone out there with a clipboard, which is never, and all of a sudden it's like last name, last four. And they're like, "You're not on the roster." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I kind of got out a couple of months ago." And he's like, "You're not getting in." I'm sorry, Charlie, first at 105th. So you just rang a bell. And yeah, I'm on the outside looking in, and all my buddies, they're drawing weapons, they're running around, people are just going nuts. And I'll never forget one
Love you,
guy,
Nico.
Nico, and this one guy told me, he was like, remember that day? It was just crazy. And this one guy says, "Yo, we're getting ammo." And that was weird because we never got, the ammo was at Fort Dix and Camp Smith, and that we were in Jamaica, Queens. They're like, "We're getting ammo now," and it's like, whoa. And it was like that whole, and I kind of made the decision because I'm a dad, and based on some prior history, I didn't, so I kind of, that's it. That was it. I missed everything.
You know what? Honestly, it's like it all has its pros and cons, right? So I'm a few years younger than you. My first deployment to Iraq was incredible, and it doesn't seem normal to say something like that, right? And then my second deployment to Iraq, which was my third overall, was horrific. That's when we were fighting ISIS. Like it was a totally different scenario. I mean, it was really very brutal. But I don't blame you. I mean, I think you got out at the right time. The only benefit to having been in a post 9/11 world is some of the veterans benefits that you get from being a post 9/11 veteran. So
N- no,
like
I got robbed. I'm pre 9/11.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
got
no, I
robbed.
know.
Yeah, I got robbed from. I mean, I got my health. I got my health, but I lost my 20,000 from my initial enlistment for college.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you get that you were part of the Montgomery GI Bill, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I didn't use it. Years later, I went to use it, and they said it was too late
Really?
because it expired. Allegedly, yeah, because I mean, I had gotten married, I had children, I always had a job, never had any issues, had benefits. It wasn't until I finally got lost a job, like after late in my 30s, and I was collecting unemployment. And they said, "Hey, if you got military, go to college, use your money." And I was like, "Cool." And it wasn't there. They were like expired because you didn't use it.
Yeah, like I know I have 11 years to use mine from my last date of active duty. So I have 11 years to kind of decide what I'm going to do from August 30th, 2017. So I still have a couple more years, but yeah, it does. They're not forever.
Yeah,
The only time
you guys got a lot. I think everything changed after 9/11. You guys got some pretty nice packages.
Holy, oh yeah, the post 9/11 GI Bill is phenomenal. Like it's if you end up doing 36 months on active duty outside of an initial service obligation, you get 36 months of educational benefits as long as it's at some sort of accredited program. And it can be in anything. The education, like if you decided you wanted to become an underwater welder, they will
Yeah,
send you to that school.
it's a school.
And
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that school, it's a trade school. That school's only like, let's say that school's a year long. Well, then you still have the other 24 months of benefits. And on top of that, you get basic allowance for housing at the E5 rate.
I heard that. I heard you get college money and regular money. I heard.
And yeah, you get BAH where your school is, which is beautiful. So like
Yeah,
me as
New York,
like
New Jersey.
my home of record is technically New Jersey, but if I go to school in New York City, if I'm at like NYU Fordham Columbia, then I'm getting the BAH where my school is, which is
Bank.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh. And
No,
it's tax free. So the E5 BAH in New York City um, is like 4,000 a month.
E5, E5. Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
a good start.
4,000 a month.
I heard, yeah, I've heard crazy stuff. I mean, I don't get into it because I don't qualify for any of it, but I'm like, wow. And I'm happy. I'm happy because the veterans in the past have got, they got shafted. I heard now
Yeah.
that some of your the college benefits, if you don't use it, you can forward it to your children, which is
You
something.
can, but you incur a service obligation. So if I declared my daughter as one of my recipients of my post 9/11 benefits, then I owe the Army 4 more years.
Okay.
I haven't declared her because for a long time I was kind of up in the air. But I think I'll move forward and I'll go ahead and declare her.
Well, but it's a great option. What you have the option. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's a
yeah,
great option.
yeah. It's
So
there.
so if you
It's
declare her today, you owe four more.
yep.
Reserve guard doesn't matter if it's active or it has to be
Reserve.
active.
No,
Reserve.
it
Okay.
would be in the reserves. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
that's
we,
the one downside to the benefit situation, like to declaring beneficiary.
but I hear there's a lot of things like you can retire. There's retirement packages now.
So now instead of having to do a full 20 to get a retirement, this just started. This literally just started with this calendar year. You had to opt in by the end of by the
Hmm.
end of 2018. And if you had too many retirement points or too much time in service, you were ineligible. But, for the people who are just now joining or getting commissioned, you can do the blended retirement service, which is basically like a 401k. The Army will match what you put in, and at a
Yep.
minimum, they'll give you 1% whether you're in it or not. Whether you're contributing anything or not, they're going to give you 1%. So if you put in 5%, they're going to match 5% of what you're putting into BRS, and then that way you're not ending 5 or 10 years of service with nothing except your
Right,
TSP.
right, right. They'll match.
You're walking.
You're walking away with something.
Yeah,
It's a great option. I'm so happy for everybody. It's just finally, because in the past it just wasn't right. A lot of people were just walking away with nothing or little.
yeah,
Or back in the day, I remember my day, there was some people who were getting paid out. It was a lump sum. Hey, you got 15 years, here's a lump sum, get out of here. And it was like, it really wasn't, you know,
yeah.
speed. So it was uh. Did you know you wanted to go Army? So, like, when did that happen? How did that happen? Because
Um,
it's a life choice. It's a big choice. A lot of people, you know, don't
yeah.
understand.
I had always known I wanted to join the military. What service wasn't as specific. Like it just turned out that at my college, they had an ROTC program, so that's what I did. It was, but if my college had had an Air Force ROTC program, then I would have
Yeah,
joined the
that's
Air
where you
Force.
were. Okay,
It would
so
have
you
made no
just
difference.
it happened to be Army. You didn't have a specific like preference.
Yeah, I mean, I think I always would have preferred the Army overall. I guess in my order of preference, it would have been like Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force.
Army, Marine Corps. Oh, okay, all right. Because
And
I
if
went
I were recommending it to anybody else right now, I would go join the Navy. That's it. Just join the Navy.
actually. Okay, so for me, when I made up my mind to go in, I actually thought Marines first, and I walked in, but the recruiter said it's a 4-year minimum. Now, I didn't go after high school. After high school, I attempted college and was a knucklehead. And I knew a lot of friends who went in. So I did a poll of everyone I knew. And it was like 50-50. Half of them said, all good. And half of them hated the military. So I was like 50-50. So when the Marine said 4 years, I was like, in case I don't like it, and in case I hate it, that's a long ass commitment. So I was
Yeah.
like, eh. So I went into the Army recruiter. I'm like, yo, you got infantry? Yeah. 2 years? Yeah. Come on in. Okay. It's a wrap. So if it sucked, in my mind, I will suck it up for 2 years. 2 years turned into four turned into 8. So it all worked out. And yes, similar. I speak to a lot of people who think about joining or, and all that. I actually send them to the Air Force. My cousin is
Yeah.
in basic. My cousin right now, he's graduating from Air Force Basic at the end of the month. So I got him. He got a good deal.
The reason why I typically recommend the Navy is because of where the duty stations are. Like,
Around the
regardless
world.
of, yeah, exactly. Regardless of what your MOS is, I mean, the
Yeah.
vast majority of the locations are gonna be by the beach.
Yeah.
uh, and the Air Force, which is great. I think the benefits to joining the Air Force is that it's less about being popular and part of the good old boys club and more about how you test. So if you
Yeah.
are a good student and a good athlete, then you are going to thrive in the
Yeah.
Air Force. If you are, if you're not those things and testing is very hard for you, then I don't recommend the Air Force. The
It,
other plus side to joining the Air Force is that it is the youngest service. It has the shortest, it's only been a branch of the military for like 70 years, maybe.
right.
Because it used to be the Army Air Corps. So it was
Right.
born out of the Army Air Corps. So because of that, where there are Air Force installations, they tend to be newer with better facilities, and
Yeah.
the Air
Oh,
Force
they got a better
takes,
life. Yeah,
yeah.
I call them the Beverly Hills of the military,
Oh,
the
for
Air
sure.
Force.
Yeah.
We had a run in with them. I think we were training in Iceland, and we had a stopover somewhere for fuel, and they needed to feed us. So our captain spoke to the DFAC, and I guess he got the green light for them to feed us. And here we are walking into an Air Force dining facility, and they're looking at us like homeless people walking into the Beverly Hills hotel. They're like, ew. And working with the gear, the LB, the Kevlar, and a bunch of grunts walking in, and they're like,
No.
and they're like, It was like the funniest shit. and we're looking at. Then we get to see the food, and we're like, what the fuck? And like,
I
this is
know.
awesome. Yeah, it was
The Air
pretty
Force
cool.
takes care of their people. They really do. And that's the one reason why I would never recommend the Marine Corps to people, because of all of the services, they are the ones that I hear still struggle. Like when I was in Iraq the first time in 2009, I had friends telling me like, "Hey, we can't get socks." And I was like, "What?" I was like,
I
what are you
I've
talking
heard
about?"
I've heard the stories about the Marines too. First of all, shout out to Marines. They are the most highly disciplined, for sure. They're so highly disciplined. They're the only MOS, excuse me, the only branch that can switch to another branch without going through basic. If
Yeah,
we
well,
if we were to
there
go to Marines, they would make us go to their boot camp, but they don't have to go to anybody else's boot camp. Everything else is up in the air. But
that's true.
yes, I've always heard stories. I've heard that first of all, their barracks are shit, are leftovers, and their equipment. I heard their equipment is like our secondhand equipment. Like we give our equipment to them. When the army moves up in equipment, they get our old shit, and it's
Yeah, My, my,
like
my, my biggest problem with the Marine Corps, and this is probably a reflection of my age and the generation that I grew up in, is that there's just no soldier care. It's very much suck it up, and I don't want to know about your problems, and I especially don't want to know about it if it affects mission. And I get
yeah.
that to an extent, I certainly do. But
That's a little that's very infantry. Yeah, that's very combat marine. Yeah, I get it. I kind of yeah. They anything that we had wrong, take two Motrin, keep it moving. Take a Motrin, keep it moving. That's they didn't give a
yeah,
shit.
it's like I think I think you could be that way when we weren't deployed constantly. Now, when you're basically being asked to spend a third of every 18 months, 6 months out of every 18 months away from your family, away from home, I think people need to be a little bit more flexible and compassionate. Uh, that's and this
Yeah,
is that's been my whole career as an officer. Like I ended up in Iraq within 9 months of graduating college. Um,
what
I
was
did.
your MOS, by the way?
I'm a 35 Delta. I'm an intel officer.
Oh shit, Intel. All right, S3, right? S3,
S2. S3 is
S2.
your people operations.
Oh, S2,
Yeah.
S2. My bad. S3, S2. I did a year in battalion.
Yeah.
I didn't like it, but anyway. But I'm a ground. I liked it on the ground. I wanted, they sent me to battalion to be a driver for a sergeant major, and it wasn't all that. Anyway,
No, yeah, that's
so when did the comedy kick in? Like, where the hell did this comedy thing come from?
yeah, so that started in I started
Was
in
that
the
some?
summer.
Was that something that was inside you at all? Like
Yeah,
you knew
well,
you wanted to be in the military. Did you know you wanted to do comedy?
so I spent my whole life as a performer. Right up until college. So I my whole life I had been in the band, in the choir, I did plays, I directed our school talent show. Um, like I had done all of that. In college, I continued to play French horn. I was president
Oh,
of the
you're
university.
brass. I'm
Yeah,
brass. I was trumpet.
yeah, yeah. So there you go, mouthpiece, spit, all that stuff. But yeah, I played French horn at Fordham. I was president of the university choir my last 2 years. I did like the vagina monologues one year, like, and then I graduated, I commissioned, and it was like, okay, it's time to be a serious adult. Like, I had never pursued those things in high school and college, uh, with the mindset that this was a stepping stone to the next level. It was just something to keep me occupied while I was getting my degree. And then in 2014, my father passed away, and his illness was very quick and all consuming. So I'm an only child. My father was an only child. My father's mother was an only child. I'm third generation only child here, and so when he passed away, like that was it. Like there was no more family left, and he was only sick for 9 months. So from diagnosis to death, it was 9 months. And afterwards, I just wanted to do something creative and fun. And I loved comedy. Like comedy was always, it was a part of my relationship with my dad, and it was a part of, it was stuff that I was interested in. So I just took a stand-up comedy class, and that was the beginning of the end.
And that's it. It's a wrap. It's in you.
Yeah.
It's here to stay.
I never looked back. I have never been a comic that took a break. I mean, of course, we all have our doubts and we question ourselves and what we're doing with our lives. That happened more after I had a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is such a huge time commitment, and we all know what spot pay is like. But I've never not done it since I started doing it. The only
And
time I took off from comedy was the year I was deployed.
I definitely know the challenges. I mean, you're married, you're a mom, you have a lot of roles, and you're a comedian. Definitely challenging. Definitely no. Been there, done that. Got the scars and the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Questioned it a lot. I don't know about your marriage, but in mine, there's a lot of flack. Okay, I get sharpshooted a lot by my wife when it comes to comedy. Uh, she gave me a couple of Purple Hearts. We've had some battles, you know. But I'll share with you what somebody told me with my situation, being a parent and a husband. It'll take you longer, but you will get there. That
Yeah, I
that
believe that.
that was advice given to me by John Leguizamo. I had the opportunity to meet him uh, many years ago. I was a bouncer in the club, and this particular night there was a private event. Whatever, I'm working. I see a car pull up. He pops out. I'm like, holy shit! Like he's one of my idols. First, he's hilarious. One man shows. He's also from Queens, so I'm from Queens. He has a Colombian background. I'm a Colombian background, so there's always that
Oh,
connect.
I was gonna ask, are you Puerto Rican?
Oh no, no, a little
Oh,
more
okay.
south. A little more south. Yeah, my family's from
South,
Colombia.
yeah, South and West.
Yeah, I'm firstborn here from Colombia. So yeah, we had those connections, and I spoke to him, and he's everything that you see him on stage. I was like, holy shit, hey, Mr. Leguizamo, how are you? I got your book. I read. I'm a big fan. Blah blah blah. And he goes, I'm like, my name is Pudge, and he looks at me. He's like, yeah, I see why. I'm like, oh shit, he just dissed me. I'm like, wow, he's awesome. He was like, that's the first thing he shit on me. I'm like, this is cool. And then he went inside, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm dying because I was stationed in front of the club. He's in the VIP, and I called my friend on the radio. I'm like, dude, we need to switch out with me. I want to speak to John. This is my only chance. So we were shooting the breeze, talking about Queens and our high schools and junior high schools in the neighborhood. And and I always, every time I meet somebody, I'm like, yo, so any advice? I'm up and coming. This was years ago. And he goes, stage time. You got to hit the stage every day. Stage time, stage time, stage time. And I'm like, I got a little sad. I'm like, yeah, I know that. But, I got a family. He's like, that sucks. And I was like, oh, shit. Swear to God. Swear to God. I said, I got a family. He said, that sucks. He knew. He's honest, beautiful man. And he says, look, man, it'll take you longer, but you're still going to get there. All right. And I'm like,
Yeah.
cool, thank you. And I just shook his hand and went back to my post. So I always kept that in mind. There's going to be times,
Yeah.
it's honey and mommy, and you have all these titles and pulling in different directions. So I totally feel, but yeah, you'll get there. It's just going to take a little bit longer, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky. My husband is so incredibly supportive. I was doing comedy before we got married,
Oh,
but
good.
he watched my evolution. He and I were dating when I started comedy. He proposed to me even though I was into comedy. We got married. We went through a deployment together, and now we've got the kid, and it really the it hasn't affected my ability to get up. I wouldn't say at all, but it's been it's negligible, the impact that it's had on my ability to get on stage and go out and pursue comedy. Like I tell people all the time, I was on stage the week I gave birth, and I was back on stage 3 weeks later. I took
There
three
you go.
weeks off. That's it. Outside of a deployment to give birth, I took 3 weeks off.
There you go. Rock and roll.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that military mindset. I mean, that's that laser focus. You have an objective, and you're like steadfast, moral
Oh, I mean,
compass.
this is going to be those war stories. Like, I mean, I used to pump while driving. I've pumped in probably half the village bathrooms in New York City. I just battery up. Just excuse me, I'll be right back.
Yeah,
It's been 3 hours. I gotta go pump.
just good old fashioned adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
Improvise and keep it moving. That's that military. That's what I love. And I kind of lost it for a while. That military mentality, that suck it up, drive on, objective, staying focused. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back on track now. Just I fell off it for a little bit. That's another story. But that's great that your husband saw you as you were. Because for me, uh, I think comedy started when I was 4. I was absorbing it at a real rapid pace. I mean, by the time I was 5 years old, it was Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, Benny Hill, Abbott and Costello, I Love Lucy.
Ah,
And then
Lucy.
and then Lucy, yeah, Lucy was my babysitter. In the summer, she
Oh
took
yeah.
care of me. 2 hours in the morning, they had episodes, and then 2 hours in the afternoon they had episodes. So like Lucy was my babysitter in the summer. And again, and then I was watching All in the Family and the Jeffersons, and it was just. And then I got my first comedy albums. Eddie Murphy was just the mind blowing,
Yeah.
delirious album. Steve Martin, Bill Cosby. Uh,
Bill Cosby. Those were the ones I watched with my dad.
yeah, I had a cassette tape, Bill Cosby live from Atlantic City, that I used to listen to, and I was like so fucking amazing. And I'm a little bit older, but when cable and television started expanding, all of a sudden stand up was on TV every Friday or Saturday night. I was watching it and I was like totally amazed. George Wallace, amazing. He blew my mind with this one particular joke. It's real quick. I thought comedy was just jokes. When as a kid watching it, I didn't realize how real and authentic it was, because I grew up. One of my neighborhoods was Corona, Queens, and I remember back in the day there was a plane crash. A plane skidded off the runway, and the tail landed in the water. A couple of people died, and it was in the news, and it was 5 minutes from my house, so I remember it when it happened. 2 weeks later, I'm watching stand-up comedy, and George Wallace has a bit about that flight,
Yeah.
and it was the most mind-blowing moment. This tragedy that happened 5 minutes from my house where people died. Now this motherfucker's making a joke, and it killed.
Yeah.
The joke is Flight 5050. So that's the name of the bit, and that was the name of the flight. Yeah, you can see. We're there. We're there.
Yeah.
You get it. That was the whole. That was the. But I didn't. As a kid, I'm like, holy shit, and that he just blew my mind. And, yeah, I became a fan of comedy, and I thought about it, but then I
Yeah.
turned knucklehead, and 18, 19, and 20, I was in the Army, and a husband and a father.
Wow.
So, yeah, 20, yeah, wow. So comedy got left behind until later on. And my wife and I were split. So she wasn't there when I started. She kind of inherited when we got back together, and it's been a roller coaster ever since. So it's
Wow.
rough.
But
It killed
it's crazy because I always feel like I started very late in life. Like
the comedy.
I yeah. I
Well,
mean,
me,
I know kids now that we do shows together at the Grizzly Pear, and they're, nobody knows it, but they're not even old enough to be in the bar. Like, I'm like, this
you know,
motherfucker is still in college. Like,
I'll do
I
one
just think,
better. We had Nico was here. Nico.
I
I
know,
was a
he's so annoying.
Nico was doing my open mics when he started when he was 15, 16. When I
Yeah.
met Nico, he was in high school and I was taller than him. I was giving him advice. That's, yeah, he was 15, 16. He was coming to my open mic at the Laugh Lounge. Now look at
I've
him now.
known Nico since day one.
Yeah,
I met him, oh my gosh. I pretty much met him the first year I was doing comedy. I was at his Caroline's Breakout Artist Series. I was at his Gotham Comedy Live taping. My husband has booked him for shows to do corporate events for his company. I've
awesome.
known him
Yeah,
a minute. Yeah.
I knew him when like
Not
he
as
was
long as
months.
you.
Yeah, like I said, I was taller than him. He used to come to my mic after school. First, he went to Popeyes around the corner in Houston, and he'd roll up with his 2-piece and French fries and sit and eat it before the mic started. And I used to run like a gauntlet of 3 back-to-back mics, kind of workout mics. He was good. He was above. He was more respected than most adults at the time. He had way more respect at 15, 16. He had more respect than some of the adults who were doing it longer because his commitment was just and what he was doing on stage, and he was fearless. I tell you something I saw that kid do that I've never seen anybody else do. We were at the Laugh Lounge and the mics would be over and we'd be waiting for the show because sometimes the owner used to throw us on. So we'd be waiting for the 9 o'clock show. We're upstairs at the bar drinking and bullshitting. Nico used to go downstairs to the showroom empty and perform. He performed to an empty room. He was doing his bits to an empty room. I was looking at him like, holy shit. Like, this kid is at another level to be. I don't know anybody who's ever done that or have heard anybody even like performing to an empty room. And I just watched him and I was like, you cool with that? He's like, yeah, I'm working it. I'm like, you keep going.
This is gonna be part of his biopic one day.
Yeah, no, it's something. It's something. You got to give credit. Look at him now. He's doing great. And
Oh,
it's
sure.
not an easy business. You said you started late. So, I mean, I had a false start in 2002, but I didn't officially start to 2005. I was 32. So, yeah, I was already older.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? We have the knowledge. We have life experience more than anything, so we do have that edge. But at the end of the day, it's who's the funniest and who's willing to work the hardest. So good luck to us all. But we're not out of it. I know it's a
No,
little
no,
bit,
no. You know what? Everybody's journey is different. It's the hardest. I have to say, like, everybody's like, oh, isn't it hard getting up on stage? I'm like, no, that's not the hardest part. The hardest part is not comparing yourself to other people, questioning why they got this gig and you didn't get it. Exactly. That's the
Mhm.
hardest part. You're like, what the fuck? I'm funnier than that person. And you're like, what am I missing? What am I doing wrong? And you just can't. That's the hardest part, not comparing yourself to
What you
others.
said, I'm funnier than that person. Are you? Because that took me. See, no, I'm not saying you. I'm saying you.
No, I know.
Because I know that was a hard thing for me. That's one of the hardest things that it took me a while to realize. And every comic, I try to tell young comics, I'm like, you got to know how funny you are, but you got to know how funny you are not. You have to be, I mean, you really got to try to gauge yourself. Like, I know I can do good and I know I've done good, but I've seen people come up after me that have killed it. And I'm like, okay, I know where I'm at. I know where I'm at, and it hurts. It hurts. And then you really, and sometimes, yeah, some people do catch a break and you wonder why. And then, you're home and you're trying to figure things out, and technology and social media has turned it upside down, and now I'm playing catch up to that. I mean, you have to worry about the craft, and now you have to worry about the marketing, the branding, the socializing, the technology. It's a
I know.
handful.
I mean, but I give you credit for doing this. Like you've been promoting this all week. I this is like I don't I mean I used to produce all the weekly and monthly shows. Like I've produced shows at the Lantern, I've produced shows at the Pear, I've produced shows at the Pit. It's so much work. And part of you just goes, why can't I just work on my craft and be funny? It's like not
I
anymore.
Me too.
I mean,
No,
I'm not even allowed to have a TikTok because I'm in the army, and I always wonder, I'm like, how many opportunities am I missing because I can't throw shit out on TikTok?
yeah, I know. I feel I grew up like that too. I think this is why Corona has been little bit of a blessing, because I'm of that age. I'm that get off my lawn age. And when it came to technology, I didn't embrace it. It was just annoying. I just want to, I want to work on my craft. I just want to write my material, get on stage, be the best I can be, kick ass, but I didn't adapt to the social media, the videos, the content, the creation, the YouTube channel, and all that. So I fell behind, and now because thanks to Corona, COVID-19, we got flattened. We're all the same, so now I'm playing catch up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's daunting, and and my wife used to complain all the time. Because she hated the look on my face. Why you mad? Why you sad? Why you mad? Why you sad? And like 80-90%, I'm in my brain, and it's always comedy. And she look at me like,
Yeah.
"Ugh." She doesn't get it. She's like, oh my god, really? Comedy? I thought somebody died. I'm like, no, my joke died, and I'm having a hard time. Like, but I bombed, so I kind of did die. She's like, stop it. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough, but we're artists. We are what we are.
Yeah. I don't, it's like, yeah. I don't know. I'm always so like uncomfortable with that term. Like I will concede that I'm a performer, but it's like, of course, it's an stand-up comedy. I have no doubts is an art. I'm just not comfortable with the term artist for myself. Uh, there are some people who do such incredible things with the English language that you are 100% an artist. But me personally, I'm like tell jokes.
No, but it's magical. I mean, think about it. You have this power of pulling emotion out of somebody.
Yes.
You are at at a drop of a dime. You've probably done it with friends and family, but then now you can do it on stage where people are just looking at you with a blank stare, and within a few seconds, a premise, a setup, a punchline, and boom, poof, laughter. Who can do that? Not everybody.
Yeah.
That's art. You are an artist. And I understand what you mean about the artist part. Like, I never took it seriously saying I'm an artist before. Yeah, I'm a comedian and I'm an artist. Yeah, yeah. I took it seriously now during Corona, because when I realized that when our stage got taken away from us, I started having
Mhm.
withdrawals. I needed something, and this is where the IG Live. I got my YouTube channel. Made some videos. I got my IG Live. I got some more stuff coming. So the creativity was still like a fiend, a crackhead. Like I needed an outlet. So here I am. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an artist. I'm an artist because I need an outlet. If I don't have an outlet, I'm not going to live properly.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's like severe depression. Like it's great. Today marks, 6 months. It's been 6 months since
Hmm.
live indoor comedy took place in like an official capacity, right? Um, and that first month off stage was the absolute worst. It was just the loss of identity, the sense of self, the loss of purpose in life. You're just like, what happens now? Like, I'm not a mom. Like, yeah, I'm a mom, but I'm not a mom.
Yeah, I know. I had it actually a little bit worse. My stage time stopped back in February. I actually caught Bell's palsy in the
Oh
beginning
no.
of February. So half my face was not working properly. Uh,
Yeah.
talking about shitting a brick. I'm an artist and my face is not working. This is not going to, So
Yeah.
anyway, after 3 to 4 weeks, I got better. It resolved and I was ready to, and as soon as I was ready to hit the stage, that's when they shut everything down. So
Oh,
I had everything lined up. I was like, okay, this Tuesday, I'm going to Freddie's Mike in Brooklyn, warm up a little bit, get my feet back because it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and boom, shutdown. Then I got depressed, like immediately. So yeah, and I mean, in 6 months, I've done 3 shows
live shows.
live. Yeah, Mohegan
Yeah.
Sun. I'm in the competition, and last
Oh,
week I did.
great.
Yeah, yeah. Second round is at the end of this month. And then last week I did 2 shows for the Fifth Borough Comedy Festival, which was outdoors.
Nice. Yeah.
So 3 shows. Oh, and then 3 shows and one open mic in 6 months.
Yeah.
That's it.
I Yeah, I mean, I think I did my first live show. It happened to be a private show, like it was a private gig. That was the end of June. So I did 3 private gigs for the same company at the end of the June, beginning of July. Two were great. One was less than great. uh, but I think the hardest part about balancing all of this is like you're almost forced to go on the road. Like Connecticut, I did my first indoor comedy show in Connecticut August 1st. They've been open for 6 weeks. Meanwhile, Como just announced again today that it's too dangerous. It's like,
For
no,
comedy.
yeah, what are you talking about? Like it's just I don't
How do
know.
you?
Like it
It's outdoor dining. Now it's outdoor dining with 25% inside.
mhm.
All you're adding is a person with a microphone. That's it. That is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That's it, and
No,
that's
man,
wrong.
I'm with you. And it's like
It's no. I'm thinking I
my
must be stupid. I must be stupid. This it can't. It's got to be more complicated. I'm just a dumb grunt, right? Because all it is one person with a microphone. Cuomo's smarter than me. He has to be. He's governor. But no, it's fucking ridiculous.
It
It's like,
is, it really is. I can't understand it. I'm like, what is going on?
well,
This is
well,
not.
yeah. I think, I think they're trying to shut us down. It's an election year. They don't want us talking.
I
Conspiracy.
I'm not that much of a conspiracy theorist, but it's heartbreaking to me that, I'm sure Cambry Cruz, the owner of QED, and I see the owner of the Stand, Chris, like they're all struggling to understand why you can go into Central Park and you can go into Bryant Park and they've got live music, organized live music. This I'm not talking about the way Stand Up New York does it. I'm talking about they're hosting events, they're advertising them. Here's this live entertainment, here's this live speaker coming, and you go, what's the fucking difference between hosting a backyard show in Queens and this thing in Bryant Park? It doesn't
I
make
know that's
sense.
why it sounds like it's a conspiracy, but it's so baffling. Now, what else could it be? I don't know. I mean, what really? I mean, what else? I don't know. Just give me a solid answer, and I'll run with it. I'll take it. I'm a soldier. Give me the order, but give me a good order. Let's not just, it just makes no sense. When do you think
It
we'll get
doesn't.
back?
I honestly, I remember people asking in April when we were going to get back on stage, and I was like, 4th of July. And it's heartbreaking how horribly wrong I was.
I
And
said September.
I was a conservative person though. Saying 4th of July was conservative at the time. Look at all these people. We got Larry Bay on, we got Ann
I
Pham
said,
on.
so we're both wrong, and not we're both sad because now we don't know what.
I am sad. It's a We're survivors. We're like little cockroaches.
No, we'll
We'll
get
get
through
through
this.
it.
We'll get through this. The
Yeah.
IG lives is keeping me alive. I got some other projects and podcasts and got things rolling. Our light, we're about to get lit in another minute or
Yeah.
so. Real quick, because you're a comic. Zoom, yay or nay? Zoom shows.
I am all about performing. So whether it's
Okay.
on a Zoom show, in a park, in a backyard, on a rooftop, in an underground show, I am there. I
Oh,
will take any audience that I can get. I don't think now is the time for a performer to be picky.
oh, okay, good, good. A lot of mixed. Zoom has been very mixed with comedians. I've asked them a lot of them, and they're all a lot of different answers. I like yours. We can't afford to be picky, but I'm hoping for the best because we need to. Thanksgiving, is Thanksgiving too much to ask for? I mean, Jesus Christ, can we? Yeah. I mean, we're going to the rooftops now. It's all a rooftop, and I don't know. I got a couple. I know Dennis Parafan has a couple of shows. I just spoke to him, so I'm gonna be doing his in
Oh,
a couple of
I
weeks.
did his Bridges and Tunnels brewery show. It's really
I,
fun.
I think that's the one I'm booked for the 26th. I got him to put
Yeah,
me on
please.
for the to warm up before I go to Mohegan. But it's very scarce out there, lady. I'm telling you, it's like we're all starving. It's like we're the Walking Dead of comedy, and we're just zombies walking around for a microphone and a crowd.
I know.
It's pretty nuts. Linette, thank you so much, Captain, my captain. Totally appreciate you.
You can't say that. That's about a captain dying on a boat.
That's what?
That poem, "Oh Captain, My Captain,"
Oh, that's from I thought it was from Dead Poet Society.
it's from Dead Poets Society, but the original poem is literally about the captain of a ship. He's been injured and he's dying, and his like blood
Oh,
is spilling out all over the deck.
okay, my bad. I'm enlisted. I read comic books. All right, that's you know me. Okay, we're MREs and comic books and we love shooting and making things go boom. So okay,
I love things going boom.
thank you so much for coming on. Hope to work with you in the near future. Hope to see you in the near
Yeah,
future.
definitely.
I produce shows as well. I'll definitely reach out if I get my podcast. I'd love to have you on so we can have a longer forum and just shoot the shit.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone for joining.
Good luck and good luck to the move. Welcome to Manhattan.
Welcome back.
And watch the China. Be
No.
careful with grandma's China.
Thank you. I will
All
be.
right.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Laters.